Let's go.
Welcome to Family Hour here on the YAHOWAH blog. Pour yourself a cup of coffee so that you're comfortable with us. You keep your eyes open. We have a tendency to go long into the evening. Leah made Rich and I both a stout cappuccino to begin this
Espresso.
program. Oh yeah, an espresso, not a cappuccino.
Yeah.
It'd be a big glass, wouldn't it, if it was a cappuccino? Yeah. I've never been accused of being elegant or sophisticated, but then again, I was cast as a bull, so I guess I'm not supposed to be. I will tell you that I'm still going to be a bit distracted, so we're going to begin the show here with Leah. It isn't very often that you have one of those days that you'll say is amongst the 2 or 3 most important along life's way, and the revelations that I was able to uncover today fall into that category. I know that my wife was working with a team on a number of projects related to the YAHOWAH blog.
I missed that show.
And so she missed it.
Yeah.
We know that Wookie slept through it because we have proof of that. We know that Kevin was out mowing his lawn. We know that Kirk was trying to die from COVID. He is now sicker than a dog. So you all get to hear it later, but it was a profoundly important realization if you're in my seat, if your responsibility is to understand and have validation for the 3 most important claims that you've made in your life. And those 3 most important claims that I have made in my life are that there was no Jesus, that he is nothing but a counterfeit. I mean, that is a very serious accusation, that he was a counterfeit created by Paul in 33 CE and never existed. And that doesn't mean that there wasn't a person who was crucified in 33 CE fulfilling Passover who was the Son of God and the Messiah. There absolutely was. It just wasn't Jesus.
Or as I like to call him, Cheez-It.
So that is one of the 3 most profoundly important declarations I've made in my life, and it is amongst the most powerful declarations in human history. Yeah. Because it is the most popular religion, and I have proven it to be false. Second is that David is the Messiah and the Son of God, and that he was the one who in 33 CE fulfilled, as he had foretold, Passover, Matzah, and Bikurim, in year 4000 Yah. And not only recognizing that Dode is the actual Messiah and Son of God, but that he in his 2nd to 3 lives was here in year 4000 Yah, 33 CE, to fulfill Pesach, Matzah, and Bikurim, is perhaps the single most important discovery
ever made.
And
for those those just tuning in, where is this found in the Torah? Is there lots of real estate where this is told?
Oh, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. And number 3, to claim emphatically that Teruah, Kippurim, and Sukkah, the last 3 Moed, will be fulfilled in year 2033, 8 years from now, which is year 6000 Yah. And therefore I can date exactly the day that Yah was returning with Dode. These are collectively the 3 most profoundly important discoveries of our time and maybe of any time. And I have not only made all 3 and written copiously about them, but this discovery that I made today affirms all 3 and makes all 3 irrefutable. And so that's a pretty significant find.
Well, you can read all throughout the Torah. I think one of the most oft produced quotes are in that day, in that day, in
Yes,
that day, in that day.
But no, you're missing the point. This gives the precise day 6 centuries in advance by the man who actually delivered the goods.
That's right.
And it wasn't just any day. It was the conclusion of Chag Matzah. And it's only 1 year in 100 that all of the facts lined up to make it exactly 476 years, 21 days. It's only 1 year where that works.
And everybody's been in the weeds this whole time. Rabbis with their 19 have no idea. The Christians, no one will know the day. You know, no one.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's been in the weeds.
Everyone. And to have one life, figure out all 3 of these things, that's a life well lived. It was a day well spent. So that is why I'm going to turn over a lot of this show to you guys, because you don't make that kind of a discovery, an affirmation of your life's work, really, and just go naturally on to what other subject we're going to talk about today. So in that light,
Are we feeling a little distracted today?
and so yes, we are.
Okay.
And so in that light, the YAHOWAH Music Group, I think this was an effort that, because of the beat, probably had some Charles in it. I think because of the music score and the voice has a lot of Leah in it, maybe more Leah than anyone else. I think there are some graphics that were probably group designed, but I see
It's
this
all Leia.
is mostly Leah. And the graphics for this song. It is a song that they would have thought, and Kevin, I know that you worked out all of the transitions so that the song will play effectively this evening and then on the YAHOWAH YouTube channel this evening, where it'll be debuted as well. So it was a group effort in the YAHOWAH Music Group. And it one that they all thought I was going to hate because it has an EDM. EDM beat is powerful, but it has a vocal in it that is
Haunting.
just riveting. It goes right to your soul. And the lyrics are,
Simple.
there's probably 10 words in the whole thing, right?
Yeah. They're very simple. I wrote this song to get back to the very basics, because the things that we talk about on days such as these are very advanced learning. And I wanted a song that you could both, almost like a lullaby, but with an EDM beat, because that's what Israel loves. But with a very simple message. And the song is called Zakar.
Which in Hebrew has one of 2 meanings. The most direct meaning as a verb is remember.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what Israel has not done. No. They have forgotten Yahweh, their God.
And I wanted to remind
And they've really forgotten everything that God told them in the Torah. They've forgotten it all, and they've forgotten everything the prophets told them. So it is remember. Remember who you are. Remember who I am as God. Remember how you told me to go away and shut up, that you never wanted to see me or hear from me again. Remember. Remember that I told you that you have to shub, you have to return to me for me to return to you. Mm-hmm. But as a noun, Zakar, spelled exactly the same way,
yes,
means memorable man. And the most memorable man in God's story is God's beloved son, David. And clearly, Yisrael and the world has forgotten David and what he represents, David. So the song is called Zakar, and it is a exceedingly unique song, and the combination of elements. The vocal is not what you would expect with the EDM beat, but nonetheless works beautifully, I think, and the visuals are stimulating and really perfect. It's a play of light throughout. Without further ado, keeper of the cables, may we have Zakar.
Remember
Our King is Lord.
Remember
Our Elohim is Yahowah.
Remember
Wando Sabah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
That's some song.
I agree. That is some song, isn't it? It's almost
Yes.
mesmerizing.
Wow.
Let's
Great.
Zakar Yahowah. Let's Zakar the Zakar. Dode.
That's right.
There's even a prophet named Zakar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zachariah.
The third to the last prophet, Zakar, followed by Yoel, Yahweh is God.
Yeah.
And then finally, Malachi, messenger.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Quite the little message. And it's just back to basics, kids.
back to
Yeah.
basics.
Yahweh is God. Dode is his son. He's our king.
That is
Remember
back to basics.
that.
That is back to basics. That is where we should always focus. That is where God's trying to draw our attention. That is the purpose of Yada Yahowah. It's the purpose of the Yahowah blog. It is the single most important message of our time, of any time,
Of all time.
of all time, until you recognize that Yahweh's one and only name is Yahweh, that he despises it when we replace his names with the likes of Jesus or Christ or Allah
The Lord or,
or
Hashem.
or Adonai or G-D.
Ugh.
His name is Yahweh. If you claim to be Torah observant and you're saying Hashem, to hell with you. That means you are really stupid. You're just too dumb to be part of God's family. You have to think your way to him, and you're not capable of doing so. If you're going to point your fingers and claim that people are discredited from having a cogent argument because they're anti-Semites and you don't even know what Shem means, even though you call him Hashem, and you know that Hashem means name, and yet you won't say it, makes you the worst of all anti-Semites.
True that.
So this is something also that's important for us to recognize, is that you cannot remember Jesus because he's never mentioned. There's nothing to remember. You can't remember Allah because he's never mentioned. There is nothing to remember. You cannot remember a Muhammad and not mention. There is nothing to remember. But Dode, he's mentioned by name 1,100 times. There is no one more important to remember. He is the Son who was given to us. He is the Messiah who will return. He is the King who is returning with Yahweh, as brilliant as the sun, literally as Elyon in God's presence. He is the greater luminary. He is the chosen one. He is the Bakor, the firstborn. He is the branch, the Shemak. He is the Ra'ah, shepherd. He is everything that is important to us, including our Yatzah, Savior. He is even the basis of your name if you are a person who errantly refers to yourself as a Jew.
Yahud.
Because the name is actually Yahud, and Yahud is a compound of Yahweh's name and Dode's name. Yahud, it means Yahweh's beloved. It's a lot to process, isn't it? And
We haven't acted very beloved, have we?
in terms of Yisrael, no, you've been obnoxious to God.
Mm-hmm.
And
Rebellious.
God is
obtuse.
going to continue to be estranged from you. He said he has divorced you. He gave you the letter of divorce. It's in Hosea. He told you that you are no longer his sons and daughters. He told you that he is going to return to heaven, and he is not going to return to you until you return to him. And the prophecy is quite clear that you're not returning to him until the last days at the behest of his restoring witness, at which time you will finally return which means that all of this time you have been estranged from him.
And if you don't think so, take a look around you.
Hmm.
See how the world feels about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're so fastly digging your own grave, Israel, that you're blinded by the dust of the bombs that are kicking up that debris in Gaza as you're burying yourselves. Netanyahu's decision to not only go back into Gaza, but to occupy Gaza is the most suicidal in Jewish history. It's going to rank worse in terms of its consequences than when Rabbi Akiva, the founder of Rabbinic Judaism, foisted a false Messiah on the world in Bar Kokhba and
be a meat
invited the
grinder.
wrath of Rome and caused the diaspora and caused the land to be renamed Palestina. And I say this because almost every nation on earth, and it will be more than 95% of nations, including the United States and every nation in the EU, China and Russia included, are going to vote against Israel, are going to isolate Israel, are going to stop doing business with Israel, and are going to side with the Muslims that perpetrated 10/7, because quite frankly, Israel, while you had every right to be angry, you had every right to try to seek recompense, you went way too far and way too long. And in the process, you turned the entire world against you. You buried yourself, and you still can't see it. I posted something on this yesterday, and I received more comments than any other post, and almost all of them were belligerent.
Really?
Right to you to tell us that we can't bomb Gaza into oblivion and celebrate it. Yeah. I'm here to tell you that by bombing Gaza and obliterating it, you bombed yourself to oblivion. This is just the reality of it. And it's just like the fact that Jews can't see that they have antagonized God by telling him to shut up and go away, by being religious, by erasing his name, by erasing their own name, by replacing his Torah with their Talmud, and by relying on themselves as opposed to him. They have shown him that they have no interest in him whatsoever. And the consequence of that's going to be grievous. And the reason I said it's the single greatest mistake in Israel's history is because, unlike Akiva's mistake that cost 6 million Jews their lives in the Holocaust, this time, according to the prophets, it's going to cost 2 out of every 3 Jewish lives. 10 million souls are going to die because of this insanity. And continuing to do the same thing and expecting a different result is insane. And quite literally now, Israel has only one, I can't even say friend, because Donald Trump doesn't have any friends.
Mhm.
Donald Trump has future enemies. In fact, he has already, on multiple occasions, denounced Netanyahu. And the only reason he supports Netanyahu now is that Netanyahu helped him create the illusion that he won a war after having lost to the Houthis. And so he clings to him for the pretense of being a tough guy that can win wars, but he is going to abandon him, and for Netanyahu to make Donald Trump his last stand, again, is suicidal, because Donald Trump is the great betrayer. He is the Torahless one that the prophets have spoken. In that regard, there is no question. And so for your prime minister, Israel, to have hitched your future to the man who is spoken of throughout the prophets as the copper confabulator, as the great betrayer, as the Torahless one, the one known to Christians as the Antichrist. Oh, that was insane too. All right, we're going to continue our program. Wookie can't wait. You can see he is giving us rapt attention here, and we understand that we are playing with a broken Kirk. He caught COVID from his wife. Nice to share that with you, Kirk.
Oh, honey, you know, couples share everything.
Yeah.
Yes, Leah has shared COVID with me in the past.
Yeah.
All right. These things known, as we continue, the subject of the next two sentences is that revealed here in Daniel. We're in Daniel 7. Adroitly identify the culprit here, recognizing that when the second verb ada was conveyed using the hefel stem. A hefel stem, this is one of the challenges. I want to tell you that rendering Daniel is the ultimate challenge. It is an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, all enveloped in a conundrum. There just is nothing more challenging than this. And the 7th chapter happens to be written in Aramaic to make it worse.
A little harder
now you
for
now you have to learn Aramaic vocabulary and stems to do this. And so the hafel is the Aramaic equivalent of the Hebrew hifel. And the hifel stem means that the subject causes the object to perform like a secondary subject. And it was written in the imperfect conjugation, which speaks of ongoing action, as opposed to the perfect, which would be constrained over a period of time. So with the object of this being his governmental authority, the otherwise unidentified he, because this was written in third person masculine singular, is the one who is judging and convicting the copper confabulator. And so you really have to understand the grammar here to know who is the one acting and upon whom are they acting. So with this stem, the subject is causing the guilty party to suffer the consequence of his egregious crimes against God's people. And therefore, he is the old guy who the object or the subject here is the old guy who intervenes in the 22nd verse to save the remnant of Yisrael from the Donald dumpster.
I know a guy.
Yeah, you know a guy. Yeah, Yahowah has a guy.
I know a guy.
Yeah, and like Yahowah has at times chosen youngsters. Yirmiyah and Dode were chosen as youngsters, but for the most part, he likes working with seasoned citizens. It takes a long time to go through the aches and pains of life.
Wisdom and experience are worth something.
Right. Someone posted, and I think it was Mariah, but I'm not positive, posted an image with a statement that says, wisdom is never deduced from being right. It is learned from being wrong and overcoming it. And so this is it's
called
lesson.
Experience.
Yes, it is. It's
life is full of them.
Yes, and that's why Yahowah likes working with more mature people who have had challenges and they have overcome them. It's what builds confidence. It's what builds the kind of things that Yahowah likes to work with. And I would assume that all of us in this room and in this video have had moments in their life where they were wrong and had to overcome some obstacle, and we grow from it. We grow confidence. We grow character. So this says, then he will resolve disputes and he will sit in judgment while retaining the ongoing authority of the king to decide. He will continually seek justice to condemn, settling this issue justly. Appeal imperfect, third person masculine singular, the man will actually judge, exercising good judgment, and make decisions on an ongoing and unlimited basis. So he will take away and remove, appeal and annul, this is the verb ada. He will abrogate and curtail in the hafal, imperfect, third person, masculine singular. This man will cause the authority of the Torahless one to be taken away forevermore.
So I'm grinning like a Cheshire cat over here because
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to get front row.
So
It's
he
gonna be
will take
delicious.
away, remove, repeal, and annul his government authority and his mastery, being terminated and eradicated, to vanish, ceasing to exist, and perishing by the end of time. This is Daniel 7:26. So the he who is doing this to the him is the restoring witness. The timing is the last days. And the person whose governmental authority is being terminated and he's being eradicated is the Donald Dumpster, the copper confabulator. The judge is, of course, the restoring witness, the same person the adversary's advocate bludgeoned to death earlier this same day. Sometimes you just can't win by losing. He gets his
true?
life ambition. He gets to bludgeon me to death, tear out my heart, drink my blood, eat my flesh, and celebrate the feast
better
of the
run.
beast. And it bites him in the tuchus.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine doing all that? Thinks I finally got that guy that's been pestering me, that's called me the Antichrist, that has been the primary impediment to my quest to be a supreme ruler and be viewed as God and build this monstrosity of a temple on top of the Temple Mount. And this guy that has spoken out against me for these 8 or almost 9 years, I finally got him, only to see him reappear and take down the dumpster. Oh, that's going to be a little disorienting. And particularly, we know how the Donald is, where when somebody catches them in a lie, which happens like 400 times a day, Donald just keeps on repeating the lie.
Yeah.
And it happens every day, multiple times a day. And he just keeps on repeating the lie. Well,
It's going to be hard to
my
refute.
nephesh, as it rises above the sacrifice of the Adamah Parah and the physical body, it's going to be exceedingly powerful at that point. And so as the Donald tries to, but, you're going to go, zip it, pal, you're done. And, there's going to be nothing coming out of that man's mouth. He'll be down on his knees, trying to beg, and we won't even allow him to do that. So
I want to see his head explode.
Satan's influence on earth. Well, there wouldn't be anything inside of it. It'd be like a balloon blowing
Hot
up.
air. Yeah, true.
Therefore, I don't think, in fact, I would say right now, if it wasn't for Satan demon possessing him, he'd have nothing going for him. I mean, he is really just a hollow suit.
He is a shrunken head, yes.
Yeah, he is really Satan's puppet at this point. So therefore, Satan's influence on earth is going to be eradicated. This is not only because Yada is extremely judgmental, as my wife and others around me will
Super
attest.
judgy.
I have an axe to grind with this fellow. And as well as with the inspiration of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, which is the fellow that has possessed him. We are not buddies. I am the adversary's adversary.
I like a guy like that.
Yeah, and it is. Yeah, it's as much as people have been afraid of the devil all of their lives, that's my job.
He's just a POS.
It's going after him and not ducking, not showing any fear or concern, going right after him. And so, I have an axe to grind with him, and it is because he isn't about to recuse himself, even with the lingering bias. And I'm going to have a bias, but I am not recusing myself in this case, just because I was hacked to death by him, just because he drank my blood and had a bite of my heart. I am motivated. Donald is fired. You're fired, Donald. And it's he's not only out of a job, I intend to send him to prison where he has belonged for a very, very long time. He just has a case up there now in the Supreme Court. I think the Supreme Court has made their decision. If they haven't, it's going to be soon, where he is challenging the 14th Amendment of the United States, where a person cannot run in an election and hold office a third time, that twice is the maximum limit. And his argument is there is nothing in the 14th Amendment that says that he can't be on the ballot. What? So yes, he can be on the ballot. And then his argument is that if he wins the election because he's on the ballot, even though he cannot officially serve because of the 14th Amendment, that because he has presidential immunity and will still be president at the time of the election, that he can't be challenged, and his desire to override the 14th Amendment.
I have to tell you this.
Yeah.
When the Democrats came out with their No King's Day,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I get it a bit. Yeah. Now I'm like, oh my God. He's acting like a Caesar.
Yeah.
He is acting well.
He will bend the rules
Why do you
like a
think-
psychopath does. The rules don't apply to them.
Why do you think that his coming out day, when he announces that he is supreme ruler and he is also God, is the Ides of March? It's the foremost Roman holiday. A holiday.
And his glibness going to the court with that ridiculous,
That is it.
totally circular argument.
He has no respect for the Constitution. So the Donald is fired. He's not only out of a job, I'm going to send him to prison where he is long. From a broader sense, Dode's Bashar Herald is going to be responsible for administering justice, not only at the conclusion of this period, but prior to it as well. And I think the job requires it forevermore. I have learned at this point that while my goal was to have as little responsibility as possible so that everything was an opportunity, I loved being anonymous, with opportunity and no responsibility after
When
having
have
a
you
career
ever
as
been
founding
anonymous?
CEOs, I would have loved to. That was my goal, and I was relishing it. And every time I turned around, Yahowah was upping the ante and said, "Oh, by the way, you're this guy, and oh, by the way, you're that guy, and oh, by the way, you have this responsibility." And so one of the things I learned is that you don't challenge him on that kind of stuff because he will really ratchet it up on you. So I'm just going to go with the flow. If he says this is what he wants me to do, I'm, so far it's worked out really well. So I'm not, I'm sure that we're going to have a good time doing whatever he wants done. But it does appear that judgment, in effect, there's way too many statements about the role he's asking me to play. And the fact that he picked somebody that was really, really judgy.
Well, it's part of your personality, darling.
Yeah,
it's not going anywhere.
It is. It's so I'm suited for it. There's no question about it. No, Leah's not. No, she Leah wants the job of once I judge them,
I'll torture
she
them.
wants to hold them accountable. So I have no
Very
interest.
creative.
I have no interest in that part. So I'm sure.
Well, I think the Malak will do it. You just give them instructions, tell them what to do. They'll carry it out.
Okay, there you go. It is, however, a job twice delegated already from Yahowah to Dode, and then from Dode to Yada.
Yep.
And so if it's twice delegated and Yahowah's
Third time's a
consistent,
charm.
settle up, boys and girls. Okay, so I have recorded the evidence in Goddamn Religion and Twistianity, as well as Babel, for the prime candidates, the founders of Christianity, founders of Islam, and the founders of Judaism, which, by the way, happen to be the same fellows.
Yeah.
Rabbis.
Yeah.
The rabbis across the board. In fact, what I wanted to tell this fellow that was speaking on behalf of the rabbis and how the Torah was simply the bone and the Talmud is the meat, is that, the rabbis created all three religions, Christianity, Islam, and
Now you're
the
talking way
Quran
over their head.
and Islam. And one of the things that's just so funny about this whole thing is, you know that they have their fingerprints all over it because, for example, Shekinah appears all over the Quran.
Yes, it
Well, you
does.
don't find Shekinah in the
Anywhere.
Torah or in the prophets. It's not mentioned anywhere.
No.
Shekinah
No.
is an invention of the rabbis.
Yes.
So it's got the rabbis' fingerprints all over it.
It's Kabbalah.
When the big story on Abraham that's told over and over again is the
Also
taking
the
the axe to
Jerusalem
the idols
Talmud.
and breaking all but the largest of them, and that one having a discussion with him.
Talmud.
Oh, that's that story from the Talmud.
Yeah.
When the Quran 532 justifies Islam's peaceable nature after 533 says hack them to pieces, cut off arms and legs on opposite sides, and crucify them. The 532 is the peaceable verse, which says if you kill one person, it's as if you killed all humankind. Well, it's a direct quote from the Talmud.
That's right.
And that's not found in the Torah. When the story of Cain and Abel is told, it's not told from the perspective of the Torah. It's told from the perspective of the Talmud. Yep. There is a whole story about a whoopie bird and Solomon with the Queen of Sheba, and every word of it from beginning to end is an entire chapter of the Quran. It's all from the Talmud. There isn't a word of it in the Torah prophets. There's a story about talking ants and David singing to the birds who join him in an army who he can communicate to, and all of this sort of thing, and the whole story is from the Talmud. I mean, everything in the Quran is a twisted story from the Talmud because rabbis sold the Talmud stories to Muhammad for $1. So they created Islam. Without the rabbis, the Quran doesn't exist. That's how much they are responsible for it. And they even went so far as Arabic is bastardized Hebrew, so the word for Lord and the Quran should either be Baal or Adonai or Adon, but it isn't.
Nope.
You know what the word is for Lord, as in Lord God in the Quran?
Rabbi.
Gotcha.
It's rabbi. Yeah,
it's rabbi. It's Rob.
I mean, their fingerprints are all over it.
Yep.
Paul was the first person actually to use the term rabbi. The first person recorded using the term rabbi is Paul, and he claims to be the best of them. And he uses the rabbinical arguments to cherry pick things out of the Torah and prophets and truncate them, misrepresent them, mistranslate them, and to deduce the opposite meaning from them to create arguments against God. The whole New Testament is indeed a rabbinical argument against the Torah and prophets.
Against Dode.
And against David. Mm-hmm. So the rabbis created all three of these religions, and I have the goods on them.
That's right.
And having the goods on them, I'm not going to delegate Paul or Peter or Luke or Mark. I want them, and I want Akiba, and I want Maimonides, and Baal Shem Tov, that piece of crap, he is mine as well, and of course Muhammad, and his first caliph for having perpetrated genocide on Jews, raping all Jewish women, selling Jewish children into slavery, and then murdering 200 million people, 1/3 of the Earth's population in the first 100 years of Islam. I've got the goods. I've written, 13 books with the evidence. So I'm going to take them, and after that we can delegate the rest of them. But there'll be some fun cases like
I have a very long
Pope
list
Pius
of B-roll actors.
The 12th and his support of Adolf Hitler ought to be really interesting. There will be some popes that were particularly vicious to Jews, and the Spanish Inquisition. Well, that'll be a fun one to prosecute. The Holocaust will be a delight to hold those people accountable. Hitler's not going to be able to just blow his little brains out. But the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem,
torture him.
I don't know if I'm going to delegate that one or not. I want him. Eusebius,
Oh,
I'm claiming him too.
he also has a very he has a partner.
Yeah, Constantine.
Mhm.
Well, he has another Greek partner. I'll have to look up his name, but
Well, John the
I'll take the B-roll actors.
John the Golden Throated was his primary accomplice in the church, a real anti-Semite. So anyway, we are responsible for judgment. That should give some people pause that want to, because there are a number of people that want to lash out at the mission that we have been assigned. You want to think that one through.
Yeah.
You might wanna.
Yeah, might want to. So anyway, we're going to be more than adequately prepared to do this job. We'll have the Malak working for us. They will apprehend the proper suspects, and they're really not going to be called suspects at this point. This is not a trial like you've ever noticed, watched before. There will be no defense lawyers, for example.
Nope.
The defense won't have the opportunity to speak. The Malak are going to marshal the evidence against the people who committed these crimes. In the audience are going to be the souls of those who were harmed by them. And the Malak are going to constrain the
Criminal.
accused. And at the end of showing what they did, there will be immediate recompense. And the Malak will be the ones who restrain them for that recompense, probably perpetrate the recompense, which will be 7 times the crime that they inflicted, and then we'll carry them off to Sheol, which will be at the end of the recompense. And at that time, it appears that without lawyers, I'm going to be judge and jury, and or you guys on the ones that we choose to delegate. And we will have thousands of Malak, spiritual messengers, delivering the evidence required for conviction. It's just something to keep in mind. This is what's going to happen. God's made it pretty clear to us. In this case, Satan and his stooge will be expunged. They are removed, repealed, annulled, abrogated, curtailed, terminated, eradicated, annihilated, and exterminated.
Adios,
Vanishing
amigos.
while ceasing to exist in our presence. I can attest they are certifiably dead. Actually, not dead. They don't have that luxury.
No, they don't.
I have had more than my fill of the devil and his dumpster. Now, should you be troubled by the idea that a man will be king of everything forevermore, which is the fellow that we serve, that is Dode, and that his herald will be the judge for all of that time, may I remind you that Yahweh has grown very fond of and is committed to delegating authority by working through people. And he picked people who have an attitude and attributes that are appropriately chosen to fulfill the job that he has. You know, if it's nurturing little babies, I probably wouldn't be the right guy.
Nor me.
Yeah, but when it's
I like them for a hot minute. and
yeah,
then,
about me,
you know.
I would love my granddaughter. But the fact is that this God's management style, and he's not about to change at this late date, is to delegate and work through people. That's what he likes doing. That's why he created us. And what a wonderful situation to be able to carry out what God wants done.
Absolutely.
So this idea that God's going to judge everybody, not going to happen that way. Not the way he works. He's going to delegate that responsibility. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to execute to judgment in a manner that is contrary to what he would have us do. We won't do that at all. But I don't think people have any idea how judgmental God is. Or how
we are not talking
We're
about
the easy
Rome's
ones.
laws here, people. We're talking about Yahweh's.
Yeah, that is really a stunning misconception that God loves everybody.
Oh,
Well,
He
definitely.
hates almost everybody.
Yeah.
Just like
He is
me.
disgusted by them, and he is
We share that in common.
absolutely committed to recompense 7 times over.
Yeah.
So
I think
the
it's
Torah one will be eliminated from our presence, and he will not be so fortunate as to die, because he and the adversary possessing him will be incarcerated in Sheol after we have extracted a suitable recompense prior to that time. God does not take kindly to those who betray his people or who attack his Torah, his Moed, his Yisrael, or Yehudim. The beast and his associates will fail. Their ability to oppose Yahweh will be terminated. From one moment to the next, the most powerful influence on earth will be neutered. Now, there were some questions in the show that we did yesterday evening, where the two questions were, when the 10-nation confederacy, and it's not really a nation confederacy, it's the leaders of 10 nations, and I gave the 10 nations, and somebody said, I can't imagine that they're going to be around in 2030. But what they missed is that I didn't say that the 10 nation, or did the prophet say that this 10 nation or 10 leader confederacy supporting the Donald Dumpster is going to be deployed in 2030. They're being deployed right now. The prophecies we're talking about in terms of the rise of Donald Trump to demon-possessed Antichrist, Torahless one who betrays Israel is right now.
Yes.
He is putting together this consortium of leaders will be developed over these next 6 months.
Yeah.
And
Really?
so this is right now. And second of all, there was this question, I can't imagine that he's going to be the supreme ruler of the world, considering how many forces would be opposed to him, like Russia, like China, like Iran. And at this point, the Donald Dumpster has turned the world against him. It doesn't say at any place he's going to be supreme ruler of the world. That is a Christian myth.
That it
He
is.
is going to claim supreme rulership over Israel, and he will have other people bidding his ascendancy to control over Israel. And it actually says that it's going to be 10 times the number of people opposed to him that are attending to him.
Wow, yeah.
So he is not a
Popular.
supreme ruler of the world. He is a supreme dictator over Israel. And that is what is really interesting, because Donald Trump has gone from being popular enough because of his Donald Trump 45 was a decent president from a point of view of what he accomplished, while his mouth was indecent. But Donald Trump 47 is demon possessed. He has nothing in common with Donald Trump 45. And he has managed to lose everyone but the most beguiled of the MAGA. And so he is exceedingly unpopular now in America. But there's one place in the world where his popularity is very high, where he has a 2/3 approval rating.
Israel.
Only one country in the world, Israel.
Yeah, he could flee to Israel for all we know. You know, with this bid for this 28 presidency, he could flee to Israel and they'd take him with open arms. Yeah.
There's evidence in, I believe it is in Yeshaya, Isaiah 14, but in the text that we're going to review, it says emphatically that he destroys his own country through wars that he starts. So he could, in 2030, flee America because it's destroyed, and come to Israel as the supreme dictator over Israel. And then he will, of course, announce on the Ides of March in 2030 that he is a god. So this is just to set the record straight. He's not supreme leader of the world. That's a Christian myth. And number two, the timing of this is right now. That is why we're able to solve these riddles and explain the text. I've got still a few more to resolve, and I'm going to continue to work at it over the next week. So once everyone has been afforded the opportunity to evaluate his or her options pursuant to the sacrifice of the red heifer, which happens on Towrah, it will be time to move on. The earth will be transformed into the conditions experienced during the Garden of Eden. It will be populated by the mortals who have been prepared to exist in Yahweh's presence during the millennial celebration of Sukkah. And I think it's important to say that I had always perceived that the happiest day on earth and the most important day going forward was going to be Yom Kippurim.
Yeah.
When that's half true. The great day of Yahweh, when Yahweh is the happiest that he has been in his entire existence, is when he returns with Dode to a cleansed and purged remnant of Yisrael on Kippurim.
Yeah.
For the wedding of all time of taking his people and making them his again through his beloved Son. But that's not the most important day on the calendar. Most important day on the calendar is Towrah. And
Because
Towrah,
without it, the rest
there
doesn't
are
happen.
20 profoundly important things that happened on Towrah.
Mhm.
And it's Towrah that make all of this possible.
Mhm.
And it is Towrah that is the fulcrum for which everything is dated as it relates to the timeline that is provided in Daniel. And until you understand the power of Towrah, this greatest show on earth, you really can't deduce the answers that we have presented thus far in this material. But it is Towrah that makes it possible for there to be a Yom Kippurim. And everything that Yahweh has said and done on behalf of Yada, his choder, the Nakri, who will serve as the Adamah Parah, is all specifically to enable his return with Dode on the day of reconciliations. It's all for that purpose. If we did not perform as God intended, he would not return. The earth would be destroyed. That is what is writing on this. This is not something that we can, pretend that we can take a few hits and take a vacation and not be bothered by attacks on our mission. No, the entire future of the earth is dependent upon this. Now, we're not in this alone. Yahweh has his seven spirits supporting us. We are now a team and a family pursuing this. But this is really the life and death of the planet here. And all of the little environmentalists that want to say, we got to do something to save the planet. Well, this is how you save the planet. You want to save the planet?
Joy.
This is how you do it.
And that is why Towrah stands alone.
Towrah does. It is. It's exceedingly important. It is. It's the last ingathering. It is the sacrifice of the red heifer. It's the day that all the remnant of Israel
Last chance for romance
is brought into Jerusalem. It's the day that they're all purged, so that the adulterous woman can be betrothed to Dode. It's the day that all of Israel's opponents are incinerated. It's the day that the Goyim that have the right attitude and attributes are brought into Israel as well to serve as the workers of the millennial Shabat. It's the day that all Israelites who remain religious are exterminated. It's the day that the Adamah Parah is sacrificed. It's the last day of Hasatan here, possessing the Donald dumpster and fooling the world. It is the day of the great ceremony that will be led by Eliah of reenacting what he did 2,888 years prior with the roasting of the bull, with God starting the flames and with the copious amounts of water that will serve to not only purge the remaining remnant, but also to incinerate all those who have come to destroy Israel. And at the same time, the entire earth is transformed in the conditions experienced during Eden.
The roasting of the bull.
Oh my goodness. And then at that moment, we have 10 days to prepare for a wedding.
That is so unfair.
Well, it's suck it up, buttercup, as they say. You got 10 days to prepare for a wedding. I mean, there's a lot going on. This is the most extraordinary time in human history. It's the greatest show on earth. And And also at this time, the Adamah Parah, which is a physical body of this bloody bull that is so productive, the moment that his body is succumbs to all of this, his soul rises up and is a powerful voice for all who will listen. So I can't emphasize enough as to how important this is. And of course, then we will begin to execute judgment. That's another spot. I mean, literally, there are a score of things that are profoundly important that are happening at this very moment.
I think culturally, if you're Yahud, you understand, you have a cultural understanding that middle Moed is important. We just don't understand it.
Yeah, well, Shabuah is actually the middle one. It's Towrah is one of the last three in the fall.
Yeah.
But the other thing that is just to have an appreciation for this, the guy that is the herald of the day of the herald, he's a goy.
Yeah.
And that's because there were no Jews that would do the job. But I think it's more than that. I don't think it's just that God chose a goy by default because there were no Yehud that were willing to listen to him.
Well, that is true.
I think he did it for a lot of reasons, and I think he's happy with his pick. And we're going to see this.
I'm happy with this pick.
Yeah.
Because you know what? A Yehud would back down.
I think so.
We're too soft.
You're hard-headed, but soft-backed at this point. You
Overreaching empathy.
yes, it's why you're so easily played by the
Yes.
Muslims
Yes.
relative to your hostages.
Yes.
You respond with your heart and not with your head.
Mhm.
And this is a job that one has to do with one's head.
Israel is called the woman.
Yeah.
So
Well, even Yahowah says that Israel is like a group of people that are all women.
Mhm.
And listen, Yahowah loves women. One of the favorite people in the story is Ruth. Another favorite person is Deborah, who's got some serious skills. And Sarah is the better half of Abraham by a long shot. There's some marvelous women in this story, but Yahowah refers to Israel as a gaggle of women at the end, because what he's trying to say is there's no masculinity in you. There's no backbone. Men have different roles, and he's saying you don't have it anymore, Israel. So then sovereignty and empowerment, along with the plethora of rights, including the highest status and an increase in magnitude, will be for those who will reign under the entirety of the heavens. This will be given to the set-apart family of Dod as the Most High, because it's Elyon. His kingdom and sovereignty, his power, will be an everlasting and eternal right to lead.
whoop, whoop.
And all of those who are empowered and authorized will respectfully approach and revere him while listening. This is Daniel 7:27. By the way, it's not delivered by Daniel. This is delivered by three different men. In this particular case, there are two. It is Gabriel, who is Dod, and Michael, who is Yada. And they're working together to deliver this because they're talking about what they are going to accomplish. They are experts in this subject because they are this subject.
Yeah, they are the subject.
All right. So the beauty of all this, while the Day of the Herald is all about Yada, and it's all about the Nakri, is all about Dod's Bashar Herald, is all about, of course, the Day of the Herald would be about the Herald, right?
One would think.
It's about the Zeroah, who is responsible for this harvest. It's about the Adamah Parah, which is this bloody red and productive bull. Once we move past Towrah,
Shabuah.
it is not about
No.
the herald anymore.
No.
He is then relegated to a herald, and very, very happy about it. He is no longer in charge. And want to be the happiest day of my life at this point when I'm no longer in charge.
Elyon's
Thank
coming back. Yeah.
It is your responsibility. Here are the kings of the kingdom.
Yeah, that's all yours, baby.
You are the king.
Yeah. Yes.
Good luck with that, pal. You got the short straw on this, baby. And this is the way we're going to be forevermore. So you're the guy.
I'm looking forward to a nice vacation.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm going on a sabbatical. We'll see you later. I don't think we'll get a sabbatical right at that time. We'll get one, but not right then. So then, sovereignty and empowerment, along with a plethora of rights, including the highest status and an increase in magnitude, will be for those who will reign under the authority of the heavens. So what he's saying is that it's not just about Dode as our sovereign. It's the way Dode works as our sovereign. It's the exact reason why Dode, as the son of the sovereign, son of Yahowah, will manage forevermore the way Yahweh has worked with us, which Yahweh says, all right, I own the universe. I created the whole thing. All life, everything is mine. And I want to give it all to you. And then rather than you being restricted in your lives and in your capabilities, I'm going to make you just like me. I'm going to empower you and enrich you. You're going to be a 7-dimensional creature just like me. And I'm going to give you the whole universe.
It sounds relationship and not a religion.
Yeah, I'm going to assign you my malak. They're going to be your responsibility.
Yeah.
We're going to be family. We're going to go out and really have a great time in doing all of this. That's Yahweh's approach. And so Dode's approach is going to be the same. He is the sovereign. Yahweh is delegating everything through him. And what he is saying is, okay, everybody is going to be empowered. There's going to be a plethora of rights. Rather than having the way that civilization and monarchies have worked up to this point is one person has rights and no one else. Everybody else has to do what the king says, including the queen. Everybody has no rights. And the more you move down the caste system, the less rights people have. And again, this says, nope, it's going to be exactly the opposite. Everybody's going to be empowered, be a plethora of rights, including the highest status and increase in magnitude. We're going to go from 3 dimensions to 7. And it's for a time for those who can reign under the entirety of the heavens. And this is all going to be given to the set-apart family. Wow. And the set-apart family of Elyon. And Elyon, you have to pay attention. It really doesn't mean as it is rendered because they're just not thinking it through. Elyon does not mean Almighty or Most High, as it is always rendered. That's not what it means. El means God, yes. Almighty or Most High, but it's Elyon.
On.
So the on in Hebrew says it's all things pertaining to God, right? Mm-hmm. But there's that Yod in the middle of it.
All things pertaining to the hand of God.
There we go. And who is the hand of God?
That'd be do.
And just in case you couldn't figure that out, you didn't know who was the hand of God. What does God say about Dode specifically? Names Dode and says he's coming back with me, as brilliant as the sun, and is going to be.
Hand. He's my right hand.
Yes, the hand of God in my presence, Elyon.
Yeah, and Yada's going to be his right hand.
Well, that's true, but that's still an okay position because you're third down there, and the lower you get on that responsibility list with all of this empowerment and rights and everything else, the better you are. I mean, at this point, you got all of the rights and opportunity if you're a little further down on the org chart.
You need a caddy?
Yeah. So yes, that is exactly right. So you want to be further down on the org chart.
Yeah.
Dode got the short straw. He is numero uno on the org chart under Yahweh. And
After all this, I just want a quiet job making temple incense or something. I don't know. Just really, I'm gonna be over all this stuff.
Well, the good thing about all of it is there won't be any competition. Everybody's going to be that's left is going to be on the same page. Mainly, all we've got to be doing is teaching Torah to the new folks and making sure that everybody understands. Remember, this is what got us off script before. This whole idea of religion and worshiping and praying and this. None of that. There won't be any armies. There's no need for an army. There's no need for taxes. None of that king crap that normally you attribute to a king. It's not a king
politics.
in that sense. There
are going to be workers, and those workers are going to be responsible for doing as they're told.
Yeah.
We choose them. We assign them to the projects we want them to do. So there'll be workers to oversee. And they will also have to be taught because there will be rules under which they operate.
Sure.
Now, for them, it is a great opportunity. This is not a bad thing because if they weren't chosen to be these workers, they'd be dead. So, and the conditions they're working in are paradise.
Yeah.
The earth is returned to the conditions of Eden. And the people they're working for now are the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it isn't a bad gig, but they still have to be managed.
The best and the brightest.
And then you have the mortal remnant of Yisrael who have been benefited from the sacrifice of the Adam of Parah. And although they are now royalty, they are baby royalty.
Yeah.
And so they need to be taught, and that'll be our job, is to teach them. And if somebody gets a little bent out of shape and goes off into a religious or a political mode,
I'll kill them.
and it's immediate gone. And so you have to be able to make that decision because that is what we're told has to happen in this particular case. They are mortal. They're not immortal. They don't become immortal until such time as they make a genuine transition over time through teaching to being covenant and accepting what has been offered previously, and God's going to give us the Torah on that, and we will delineate. So you are correct that the job is much easier, but you have to have some appreciation, Kevin, for where I'm coming from, because where I'm coming from is very much where Dode and Moshe came from. And Moshe just says, "Kill me! I can't do this job. This job can't be done. These people are horrible." And
He should have got that hint when when they complained about him killing the Egyptian.
No
and
doubt.
That was your first.
well, that's
red
why he didn't
flag.
want to do the job to begin with. And Yahowah talked him into it, and he did it. And then he came to Yahowah and said, "I told you this was a terrible idea." And now look at it. I was right. You were wrong. It's a terrible idea. This job can't be done. I don't want to do it anymore. And look at Dode. I mean, his own son rebelled against him. He wore out. Says, "I don't want to do this job anymore. I'd rather just sit in my bedroom and cry." I mean, it's a tough job. Jews are really relentless and obnoxious. It's a tough, and Goyim aren't
Just
really a lot
goddamn
better.
mean. They're just
Just
goddamn
mean people are, and ignorant. And so this is an exceedingly difficult job.
because
So
they love
the
being
idea
religious.
of continuing to be on for a prolonged period of time is not something that is appealing to us. I mean, I don't want to sound selfish here, but it isn't appealing to us. It wasn't appealing to Moshe. He said, "I want to end this relationship. I want to end it now." And Dode wanted out of it. And so, yes, I know the conditions are different, but we're still going into this with a lot of scars. And I mean, I go to bed every night at the end of a long day, and I am thinking in my mind about having time just to unwind, to enjoy the beauty of a beach, a walk in a stream, the smell of the wind going through the pines, of good food and beautiful music and wonderful company. And I'm sorry, it's not continuing this job forever. And yet I realize that the only way that eternity is meaningful is to continue this job forever. And we are the best prepared people to do this job. We will not be babies. We're mature in this relationship. And so we're the best people to do this job. This is a very important time to start this job. And we are going to be exceedingly energized by that period from Shabuah to the return.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wonder why I come off occasionally and say, I don't want this responsibility. You need to know it is not comfortable. It is and
It's
Yahowah,
about as
Yahowah has a higher sense of valuing what we're capable of than we do independently. I mean, I've always had a very high confidence level that we can get this done. But Yahowah has this ability to say, you're capable of a lot more than you think. And we're going to continue to up the ante. And you're going to show all that you really can do. And it's important. And in the end, you're going to be glad that I increased the series of the responsibility.
I think we've all come a long way. Like,
Yes.
it's really, even in the past 6 months.
Yep. So this will be be given to the set apart family of Dode as the hand of God. His kingdom and sovereign power will be an everlasting and eternal right to lead. We are never going to vote. Never going to vote.
Good.
There is not going to be a constitutional crisis here.
No,
Dode is sovereign forever.
he's
He the
right.
one.
And it is the best form of government because he's going to empower everyone with tremendous rights. And we're all going to be empowered. We're all going to be royalty. We're all going to be brothers and sisters of the king, which means everyone is a prince and a princess, brothers and sisters of the king. And so it is going to be an extraordinary circumstance, but Dode's in charge.
Yes.
Well, I think I read in Mizmor 117, 16, 18, somewhere in there, that the people that are there are the jewels in his crown.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
he
just
said
so
that.
beautifully poetic.
Dode said the wealth of the king
Yes.
is in his family
Mhm.
and his people.
Yep.
And that is what we're providing the king. That is our job, is to providing the king's wealth. So while the king is going to give us the wealth of the universe and empowerment and enrichment,
We're going to
we are
bring him a
actually-
bunch of little babies.
We're actually providing him what he says is his wealth, which is
Yes.
his family, his people.
That's right.
In fact, we deliver all of them.
Yep, we got the goods.
That is our job.
Well,
And so it is a symbiotic relationship.
Sure.
I mean, literally, we're providing the king with his wealth, and then he's giving us everything that he has. So it is symbiotic. It's going to be mutual appreciation.
Yep.
And all of those, and that, by the way, means that everyone who is working now as part of the covenant family and is dedicated to conveying this message on behalf of the future covenant members that are Dode's extended family, the jewels in his crown, are all going to be exceedingly important to and respected by and
Yahweh knows-
appreciated by
Yes, Yahweh knows.
the king,
And Yahweh knows who you are.
and of course by the king's father.
Yeah.
And all of those who are empowered and authorized will respectively approach and revere him, and they will listen. What this says is that Dode was right. What Dode realized is that if he fulfilled Pesach Matzah Bekurim in year 4000 Yah and 33 CE, he will have gained the one thing that will mean the most in terms of him being able to do the job of being king forevermore. He will earn everyone's respect because there will be no one there who hasn't benefited from what he has accomplished.
Absolutely.
When you are there because of what he's done,
Right.
Yahowah.
yes, sir, I respect what you've done. Thank you. And yes, you want to speak? Listen, we got here by listening to you. Why do we want to change that now?
Right. Yeah,
Not only that, they will love him. They will genuinely.
Oh, we're
love
all
him.
going to love him.
Yeah.
We already do love him.
Yeah.
And one of the things that makes Dode so lovable, he's like us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's approachable,
Flawed.
flawed. He's head and heart. He is inspired. He is articulate. He's brave, man. Talk about going into an adventure. Wouldn't you like to go to an adventure where you're going to explore a new universe and conceive life, and you're there with a guy that turned out to be as brave and courageous and dependable and capable as Dode?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, Yahowah's going to tag along with us.
Wow. What a crowd.
Yahowah said, I'm going to continue to pay attention to and focus on my son for eternity.
Yeah.
So
Well,
wherever the sun goes, Yahowah's going to be there.
what a
So we're
trip.
being reminded that even though Dode is king, we are all co-regents because we are God's children and therefore royalty. Now, initially, the mortal remnant of Israel will gain a plethora of rights, gaining status pursuant to all others. And then to inherit the universe, we will have to be substantially enhanced in capability and empowered so that we can be immortal and transition these great distances by being energy-based. But most of all, we will be family, Dodes, brothers, and sisters. We'll be sons and daughters of God. And we know this because upon his return, Yahowah revealed that Dode will be Elyon, the most elevated influence of God among us. This is the grand beginning of what I like to call happily ever after.
Well put.
Now, what's important here is that Patak serves to validate a conclusion that, well, we made together quite some time ago when trying to understand why Dode would volunteer to serve as the Passover lamb and then go into Sheol, hell, to fulfill unyeasted bread. And those are the two most gruesome sacrifices that any human has ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he endure being beaten to a pulp by the beast of Rome and then endure the most excruciating form of death ever known, crucifixion? And that was the easy part. The hard part is being burdened with our guilt and taking it into Sheol, which is like a black hole where time, is entirely different than what we experience. And yet he realized that this would be the only way to lead Israel for forevermore and to earn their respect. And nothing engenders more appreciation than inheriting eternal life and the universe which Dode made possible. So thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we could only get more people to listen to his Mizmor. And as I shared in our program yesterday, I came to realize why it is also important for the Adamah Parah, this bloody red bull who was so productive, to also be willing to do the same thing Dode did, to allow his corporeal body to be hacked to death. Because by doing so, it says, I trust and rely on Yahowah. And not only do I trust and rely on Yahowah, I care enough for his extended family to offer myself for them. And the benefit of it is the one thing that is so uniquely Yahowah. If you do something magnanimously, as Dode did, as I will do, for the right reason, demonstrating that Yahowah can be trusted in all things and in the most important thing, with life.
Yeah.
And that you care enough for what he cares about to make a sacrifice on behalf of his children. That if you do that and you're offering this, that God's way of dealing with those who serve his interests in this way is to give them infinitely more than what they gave. They don't do it for the
Outcome.
reward,
No.
but that is just God's style. You know, Dode did this. He fulfilled
But
Pesach
isn't
and
that the
Matzah.
style of a good parent?
And so when Dode fulfilled Pesach and Matzah, God says, you're it forevermore. I am giving you are literally going to be me with the people forevermore. This is the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate proof statement. This is what Abraham and Yishak did on behalf of the covenant when they went to Mount Moriah, times an infinite amount, what Dode was willing to do in this regard. And to a smaller degree, but still for the same purpose, it is the opportunity at the Adam of Perah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the way that God responds.
Yep.
And for everyone that is supporting this effort now, God's going to say, okay, you devoted years of your life to making what was important to me possible. And so now, here is your reward. And you can't
You
stop
can
it.
refer to me as Princess Leia
Yes,
from now
you
on.
you cannot. Yeah, there you go, Princess Leia.
Yes.
Yes, there you go, Princess Leia. I'm happy to do so.
Salute.
Consider me Han Solo.
And no, I'm not wearing the outfit.
Oh,
No. You said,
It's a family show.
what fun
Be
is
careful.
that? Maybe when the show's over. I'm a little choked up now.
yeah.
I tell you, I distract easily.
Yes, he does.
So there you go.
Okay, gotta
All
get-
right. So God is going to do what He has always done, and you know, if you look at Moshe, God recognized that he had not done what he really should have done and needed to do with Moshe.
Hmm.
And while he tried, which is that he came down off of Mount Moriah after giving Moshe Debadim, not Debadim, but Bamidbar, Genesis, and the tablets and that sort of thing, and a glowing complexion on top of all of that. And he gave Moshe these things. With Moshe, he came down to tell the people, this is my guy. I am giving him this,
I'm speaking through his
Torah.
mouth.
I am,
Yeah.
yes. And so this is Yahweh saying, I'm here for him. I'm completely and totally committed to working through this man.
I am speaking to him mouth to mouth.
However, the children of Israel said, go away, shut up. We never want to see or hear from you again. So it just didn't work out.
Oh,
And so Moshe at that point didn't have any other text from Yahweh to share with his people to say that they're going to be tough, but through it all, we are going to prevail. We're going to get them to the promised land. Now, what Yahweh realized is that when Moshe gave up, that he would be better served to constantly reinforce those who were working for him. And so you find him anointing Dode 3 times. You find him telling Dode, you are my beloved son and I am your father 3 times, multiple times throughout his life. You find him inspiring his Mizmor Psalms. And through the stems and the moods, we find that Yahweh is agreeing with Dode. And he even says, Dode is the man who's after my heart. And he says, he is my chosen one. He is the most set apart one. He is the man through whom I'm completing the covenant. He is the man that's going to come back as brilliant as the sun.
My right hand.
So he did for Dode this extraordinary reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he gets to the end and all the marbles. Earth is either destroyed or there is a marvelous wedding on Yom Kippur. And so when he speaks of the fellow that he's chosen to work with and the team that's supporting him, he has 1,000 references. And he's constantly sharing credit and saying, we've done well. So Yahweh has realized that one of the great lessons of life, which is there is no limit to what you can achieve if you're willing to share credit. It's the opposite approach of Donald Trump, for example.
Oh, yeah.
No joke.
There is no limit to what you can achieve if you're willing to share credit. And Yahweh does it better than anyone has ever done it. And this is with what he's doing here. He's constantly reinforcing this. So now we know why Dode volunteered. He could see this as well. He realized that this was the best thing to do, that if he sacrificed on these 2 days, he would have all eternity to reap the benefit and could actually do the job. It wasn't really totally magnanimous and it wasn't totally selfish. It was the only way to get the job done. And so Dode made our life in this universe possible. So since it is a big job, and since Yahweh does not want anyone to work alone, we are encouraged and we are rewarded, even respected, for serving alongside Yahweh's beloved. The best way to accomplish this is to listen to him and show our gratitude for what he has done. Throughout time, no one, including Moshe, has rivaled Dode's ability to lead and to teach. It kind of goes back, guys and gals, to something that I have tried to convey many times. When Yahweh said, I chose Dode, and I chose him for reasons that are different than the way men and women choose other men and women.
Mhm.
That at that point, our primary goal in life, not just an important goal, our primary goal in life should be to figure out what it was about this man that caused God to say, I
He's
choose
special.
him.
Yeah.
This is a man that I dearly love. This is a man that I love so much. I am his father. He is my son. And so what was it about Dode? What are his attitudes? What are his attributes that cause him to be so valuable to, so favored by, so chosen, so loved by the creator of the universe, and so effective working alongside the creator of the universe, that they accomplish so much? And so what I constantly said is that if you want to accuse me of a bromance with Dode, just fine. I don't think there's anything more important to find out what is it that makes him unique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was really smart.
He was
Yes.
right.
He was right about God.
Mhm.
Yes.
He was really articulate.
Yeah.
When
Great musician.
you read his Mizmor, he is super judgy.
Yeah, he is.
He is not trying to please everybody. He
I
says,
know.
I hate them. I despise them. I don't like this.
I want to
But
mock him.
this I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I want you to take care of them. Eradicate these people.
Get him out of here.
They're counterproductive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's not tolerant at all.
No.
He is courageous. When Israel needed defending, he was right there.
Mhm.
He loved Yahweh. He wanted to devote his life to Yahweh. And so these are unique attributes. He was a man who was both head and heart.
Well, I think
Everybody that Yahweh deploys is equal parts head and heart.
that's
But this man was.
We're both way more head than heart.
You and I are both.
Yeah,
yes,
both of us.
We are.
Yeah.
But there are Dode, I think, well, I think he was a lot more head than heart. He was had a very
Robust processor.
robust heart. He was also a very, very emotional man. We just don't have the luxury of being emotional right now. This is a time where
No
It's-
time to cry, no time to rage.
it's got to
Just
be
time-
it's got to be in here. Yeah, there's no
to get
time.
it done.
There's no time to cry.
No.
And so it is important for us to recognize what are the attributes of Dode that caused him to be so beloved by Yahweh. And of course, every time that Dode would speak about Yahweh, he always spoke about him using his name.
Mhm.
So
Always.
that is an enduring quality. and he always wanted to do and be in the center of Yahweh's will for his life. He was a student of the Torah. He wrote the 119th Mizmor,
Beautiful.
which is an alphabetical portrayal of the Torah with the 8 sentences, each devoted to each of the 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet in alphabetical order. That's a systematic evaluation of the Torah, if there ever was one.
It is one of the most beautiful ways to and clever ways to tell someone not familiar with Yahweh's plan, his nature, the Moed. It is stunningly beautiful.
Of course, he was a student of the Talmud, right?
No.
Just checking. He obviously was not religious.
Talmud didn't exist.
Was not religious.
No.
And he observed.
He was really into a relationship.
Many.
Yeah.
And he was always defending God's people.
Yes.
So there are lots of attributes here that we are wise to consider in this particular case. He was a very good student who became a very effective teacher. And throughout time, including Moshe, no one has rivaled Dod's ability to lead and teach, particularly in challenging times. Also, he is the one who united Israel, did he not?
The only.
Yeah. And he is the one who came to develop the city of Dod, which is the city of Jerusalem. He did acquire the Temple Mount, did he not?
The only one.
Why would have put him with money?
When the Ark of the Covenant was brought to the Temple Mount for the first time, what did Dod do? Do you recall?
He ripped off his clothes and danced.
Yeah, but he also dressed up as the high priest.
Oh, yeah.
Priest.
And he danced and he sang as Obed-Edom brought the Ark of the Covenant up. Obed-Edom, of course, is an interesting name because Obed means one who works, who does, who engages on behalf of Edom. And it's the man from Edom that ultimately saves Israel.
Right.
And of course, what that means in this story is that Esau, which is from what Edom is based, is Jacob's twin brother.
Yeah.
And that means also that at this point, Yisrael will be back united again because the man from Edom is Jacob's twin brother, is going to bring
another reconciliation. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bring the family back together. It's a marvelous story, the way it's all comes back in the end. And it is even interesting that Dod in his first life was over when he was 70. Mine's going to be over when it is I'm 78. I'm his older brother, just as Esau was Jacob's older brother.
I'm the older cousin.
Yeah, you're going to be the older cousin, aren't you? I think we're going to do a little.
I'm just going to be Princess Leia, I think.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a little improving. I think to be in our 70s or such at that time, we're not going to look it. I can guarantee you that.
Small hair.
That we're going to be able to shape whatever kind of physical form we want because you're going to be energy based and you can transfer energy into matter in any way you desire.
I'm going to be a 7-foot tall redhead.
You get 17. I don't know if that's going to have a lot of friends at that point, but Leia's not looking for a lot of friends. She's going into hiding, I think.
It's true.
Gosh, she's told me like 400 times, I'm not going to be your wife in the millennial Shabat because
I suggest you get
you
more
are going to have
wives.
to be way too public. So you're going to need a wife that's capable and wants to be public. And I said, well, suck it up, Buttercup. You signed up for this ordeal. So
I don't think Dod's going to give her a pass.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah.
And, he's the decider. So, he's already written a mizmor or mashal about her. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
Here you go. So just as Gabriel and Michael would tell Daniel in the end, I like all these L's, isn't it? You think
Yeah.
that's a coincidence? It's
No.
Gabriel, Michael, and Daniel.
Yes.
They're all in association with Yahweh.
Well, yeah, they're all L's.
Yes.
Gabriel is God's most courageous and compassionate and capable man. Michael is the one who is right and truthful about God, L. And Daniel is the one who recognizes that God is judgmental. So it's that's the threesome here. And it's, by the way, the other person who contributes to this is El Yah. So the names are pretty clear, right?
Put it together, kids. Yeah.
Put it together. This tells you the whole story.
Yeah.
And in the end, at the conclusion of their last encounter, this was, we were told that this was not for Daniel to understand. In fact, they told him and us through him that no one would understand these prophecies until the restoring witness, Michael, decoded them at the very last moment, and we are living in the fulfillment of them right now. And even then, he would have to wait until just right before the Shabuah harvest and at the onset of the time of troubles. So here we are. When I thought about everything, contemplating and reasoning to the greatest extent possible, it alarmed me. It dismayed me. It overwhelmed me. My countenance changed while I judged these things for myself and preserved them in my mind and in my heart. Daniel 7:28. And what all of this means is that here, at this time, Daniel perceived all of this incorrectly. He was troubled by it. He was anguished by it.
Mhm.
And, I can see, to have a
What do
copper confabulator controlling Israel and claiming to be God and misappropriating the Moed Mikre and actually killing the one of the two guys, Michael, the body of him, Michael anyway, at this time, I can see that might be distressing, but he saw the result. And the result was happily ever after, that Dode returns as king and that everybody is enriched and empowered. It ends so happily that it's obvious that
Daniel's a
didn't understand it.
numbskull? He's a
Yeah.
numbskull. He's an idiot.
And I don't think that most people understand that this is such a wonderful series of events. The earth is being transformed in the Garden of Eden, and we're going to be able to camp out with God here on earth for 1,000 years, and we're all enriched and empowered as the very children of God, as his sons and daughters, as the kings, princes and princesses. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, I don't know that Daniel got the entire picture. Like a lot of the prophets got taken forward in time and we're seeing stuff. He's pretty much being dictated to. He's being told the story. So, because it didn't have to make sense to him for him to be able to do his job. Hey, Daniel, write this down,
Yes, Daniel had one job.
Write it down.
Write it down. And then he was told, I want you to write this down in a way that nobody understands it.
Mhm.
And he did, man. I want to tell you, it is.
Keeps you up at
I've
night.
been doing this for 24 years, and this is the most difficult of all text to translate. I'm dealing with one right now where the transition is just impossible. It is the second half, and it is in the second half of Daniel 9:26. For those that don't know, 9:26 is the one which is so powerful about saying what Dode is going to do as Hamashiach. And then it transitions in just the next word to what appears to be a presentation of the Torahless one. But is it? And so now you're going back and saying, well, I really need to think about this because it can be presented in one of two ways. It's the telling the story of the sacrifice of the restoring witness that leads to a positive thing. But then it goes from there to talking about this covenant that's going to be affirmed with many, which is the story of Satan's control, possession of Donald Trump to carve Israel into pieces. And so, you're looking at these things and you're saying, this is really a challenge, and you want to be right about it.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at it from all possible angles, and there just is nothing that compares to this in terms of difficulty. And I know that if I had tried to do this even a year ago, you're going to miss 90%. You're going to be wrong on almost everything.
Right.
It just takes too much of a foundation of prior understanding and a very unique perspective of this time and what God is trying to achieve and who the players are. But this idea that, okay, so you have the Spirit of Yahweh in you, you should just be able to look at it and say, well, that's what this means. But that's not the way it works.
No, there are prerequisites to learning Daniel that must be in place first, and a full understanding before it makes sense. And
Yeah.
I really think that there was a time lock on this.
There was absolutely a time lock. But Yahweh's Spirit enables Chokmah and Bien, which means that the Spirit is enabling you to make the connections to understand and enabling intellect so that you can process the information. But it is a process.
Yes.
Intellect is the ability to look at information and to process it intelligently, and Bien is to make the connections to understand where this is leading and what it is conveying. And it has etzah of being able to provide counsel on the entire picture as it is presented, and diyat, to have the wealth of knowledge that is required to be able to proceed with this material. All of that is a process. It isn't this
Gotta
idea
have a little skin in the game.
that it is a data dump, that God is using you as a implement as opposed to a person.
No, it's not how it works.
So that's why it is a challenge, and that's also why it's fun. So we have reached the end of our program. It started off with a beautiful song and a bit of inspiration in terms of the confirmation of our message and mission by a revelation that Gabriel Dode makes in the ninth chapter of Daniel. And he's taking us to a marvelous place here at the conclusion of the 7th chapter. So we'll move into the 8th chapter, which is very powerful. We're also going to investigate Isaiah 14 again on the spirit that is possessing the Donald. And there is so much more to learn and to affirm. And what a great story. What a great time to be able to tell this story. And I hope you've enjoyed my swimming pool there, Kevin.
I love the pool. Absolutely.
Yep. Yep. It's it's a little bit with all these lights, it's hard to see, but yes, the lights are on in the pool outside there. And we need to have a master of a keeper of the cables to show that we do in fact have a Rich here. Richie Rich, the keeper of the cables, is there he is.
It's hiding in the background.
Yeah. Looking very handsome. He just came back from getting his everything trimmed up and looking very elegant and stylish, the most handsome among us. So we're grateful for this opportunity to be together with you as a team and to be able to be part of telling God's story. Yeah, what a thrill to be here at this time, engaged in this mission and serving our King and his Father, our beloved God. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful Shabbat, wherever you may be. We look forward to being with you tomorrow.
Good night, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Feel better.